Whether you're watching your favorite NBA team at the arena, the bar, or hanging at home, grab an ice-cold Michelob Ultra and enjoy every moment of the NBA season. Stock up today and watch your team drop buckets with a bucket full of ice-cold Ultra. Michelob Ultra. Superior light beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2026 Anheuser-Busch. Michelob Ultra. Registered light beer. St. Louis, Missouri. Must be 21 plus to order alcohol. Alcohol available only in select markets.
Blowing ad budget on metrics that look great till the CFO sees them? That's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
I remember telling my boss, it'll be good for the brand, when leads were slow. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cut the bull spend. LinkedIn lets you target by company, job title, and more. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Study
and play come together on a Windows 11 PC.
And for a limited time, college students get
the best of both worlds.
Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
To finish off the season with Eyrie, look back at the key moments of our season, discuss who have been our best performers of the season, and ponder who will play next season and how we'll play. Stay tuned. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined by Jack and Grant as always. How you doing, boys?
All good.
Yeah, good mate. Yeah.
You boys been up to anything since end of season, or just finding life repetitively dull, given there's no proper rugby on anymore?
I mean, given the end of the season for us, I've been happily burying my head and waiting to see the signings that are coming in, if any.
I didn't have much of a break after the end of the season. I went out to Dublin, saw our Nick out there, had a couple of beers, and yeah, forget the actual game. But within 24 hours of getting back from Dublin, I was in St Helens, jumping on a bus and heading towards Gatwick for the Ospreys in the community right to Rugby. That was a bit of a challenging week.
Busy week.
Yeah.
I hope you're very well refreshed on the bike ride.
Do you know what? Okay, I only cramped the once, and that was on the first day. And that was after we finished. Maybe after like 2 pints of beer had gone in me to rehydrate. But we left St Helens 1 o'clock in the morning, drove to Gatwick, flew to Bordeaux, cycled to Marmont, and yeah, that was a bit of a challenging day. That is it's only like 55 miles compared to the other days, which are like 70-ish, and it's probably the hardest day just due to complete lack of sleep for a full day and a half.
Yeah, that sounds pretty miserable, quite frankly.
Yeah, well, compared to other trips, whereas we've had 40-mile-an-hour headwinds and rain and cancellations, it was great, and everyone just complaining about the fact the sun cream wouldn't stay on because it was just so hot. I think it was like 38 degrees one day. But cycling along the edge of the Pyrenees, tough, isn't it?
I do not envy you. I do not envy you at all.
Brilliant trip. Okay, Ospreys as a community is a great charity, and we've raised over £130,000 on that bike ride now through over 70 players. So cyclists, definitely not players. There's only a couple of players in there. So a great effort for a great charity. So well done to everyone. There's plenty of stuff on social media, and if you have a look at the Ospreys in the community reels on Instagram, they had a media company come in. One of the guys was riding, and another guy was like sitting in the back of a vehicle with the boot open, filming us, and the quality of what they put out was superb. It makes us look really professional. It makes it look like it was easy, but it definitely wasn't.
You know what? I'm sure you did make it look easy, at least seeing off your pint at the end of the day.
There might have been some boat racing again. Yeah.
Fair play to you, given a week earlier you were telling me that your knee was shot to pieces.
Well, I rested for the full week beforehand, and provided some benefits in terms of not doing any further damage. Literally put my legs up for a week and then smashed it.
Perfect. Good to hear. Good to hear.
Time. Lovely job, Lee. Shall we move on then to some news?
It depends what news. You
Yeah,
never know.
we'll
Something
start.
come in the last 4 minutes. I'm always worried.
This has happened before, isn't it? I'm
Yeah.
just today's news.
I'm going to quickly refresh my Twitter feed, but we'll start off with the good stuff. In that we've had two re-signings since he's often a pod. Both of them props. One of them being Kean Hire, the 21-year-old tight head who's looked properly coming through at the moment. Nice to see him staying on. And the other Steph Thomas, who has come into a world of his own this season. He's been very good, sort of the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks of the season, hasn't he?
Yeah, it says something for our coaching setup, isn't it? We develop our own. We take average props from other clubs and turn them into real quality props as well. And yeah, we done. Steph Thomas signed, didn't look up to much scrummaging wise, and now he's holding his own against everyone. So yeah, done it again. He's a great resigning. And Kean Hyatt, people keep on saying this guy has got a future. So hopefully he gets a little bit more exposure next season, a little bit more the season afterwards, and establishes himself in the first team.
I was going to say he's learning from Tommy Bow for one of the hair bears. Paul James, there's not much of a better setup you could want other than maybe, I don't know, Thomas DeToy.
Yeah.
In front of him.
I mean, he's 21. He's 6'1", 120 kilos. There's not many people built like that in the game at that age in Wales anyway. And yeah, I thought we'd see more of him this season, to be honest. I thought we might see a little bit more of him. But he'll be developing well in that team, in that environment. And yeah, it's nice to see a young player being kept on, re-signing and still, around the squad. So yeah, all around I think positives,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Steph Thomas's re-signing video, of which half of it is just scrum porn.
Yeah, I saw that.
What do you want from your props?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a bit of go forward. The other big piece of news in the last few weeks is the Ospreys have announced the plans for St Helens and what it's going to look like next season, and most crucially, hopefully, when we're going into it. Now, I've not had too detailed of a look because I've been very busy. Have you boys managed to have a gander and any thoughts on what looks to be a pretty hefty rebuild?
Well, I've seen the ground firsthand, loading up the bikes for the bike ride, and when we got back collecting the bikes on Bank Holiday Monday. When the Ospreys said they broke ground on the Friday, initially, okay, it was no more than like machines had arrived and they put one in the ground and scraped a hole. And interestingly, you go down about 12 inches and you're into the sand earth layer just literally when you go down that far. So, St Helens has always said it's got good natural drainage. It definitely has. And if you look at some of the photos from the last few days, RNA have been in ripping the top surface off the ground, and they're using a machine normally rips the tarmac up, so they've flown through that in a couple of days, and they just finishing off, ready to hand it over to the people who are going to start installing the pitch. So it's happening at a rate, but the pitch, given the fact there's no no concrete stand going up initially in year one, they're saying this is going to be phased. There's looking at it, as long as the rain doesn't continue like it has the last few days again, which might hold things up, then they should be on schedule for hitting their sort of fourth game of the season. So we've got Dragons first, which is initially at home, and I think we've rearranged it this now away. Then we've got South Africa for 2 weeks. So the plan is we should be in there, round 4 of the URC.
It's exciting times. You happy with the layout? Obviously, the terrace staying facing the main road, facing the beach will be absolutely gorgeous.
6 bars. which, fair play.
Very,
Good going. Clubhouse
very
isn't going to
important.
do. Clubhouse won't. Will the clubhouse at least be open? I know it's Swansea RFC, but I wonder if they'll open on match day anyway. Is there any? Is there anything on that?
Hospit Hospitality will be taking up a big chunk of what's going on initially until they build the new Mumbles Road stand.
Hmm.
Then there are limited facilities, and hospitality is going to be in a marquee. Looking at the some of the drawings that came out for the revised plans, main hospitality is in a marquee. So I would have thought that the actual clubhouse might be a bit of a challenge to get your average Joe supporter in there. But supporters club will be picking that up with the Ospreys and seeing what we can do to try and make match day the best it can be for everyone.
I think it would be absolutely class to be able to go to Swansea Clubhouse before a match. Like I know I'm going to watch Ospreys, but just the environment, proper rugby kind of environment.
It is proper rugby environment, and the building's looking a little bit old and tired, and it's being made safe in terms of leaks, etc., and electrics and things like that. So yeah, it will be used next season.
Yeah.
But you'd like to think that as soon as the main stand is built, then a big chunk of that will be freed up to normal supporters, or you'd hope anyway.
Yeah.
But the roof is definitely going on the terrace as well, so I can stop nagging about that now.
You'll have to ask Nick about that. You'll know about the hospitality and the seating and the nice seats, isn't he?
Yeah. No, I'm on the terrace again. I've had such a good time on the terrace this year in Bridgend. I'm definitely staying on the terrace in St. Helens.
Yeah.
Where all the noise comes from.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I'm slightly worried about, and this is such like a local kind of not local, but like a thing to it, is like parking. Because I know you can get trains down and up and that, but like the biggest games of the year generally like attended will be probably like Boxing Day, for instance, and there's no public transport on Boxing Day, is there? So
No.
where are people going to be? There's like barely any parking around St. Helens, is there really?
Well, the rec next to St. Helens has got more parking space than the old Liberty used to have. Okay.
Okay.
And if you compare that to Bridgend as well, it's probably better off than Bridgend was. And you'd like, well, in terms of the public transport and links, etc., we'll have to wait and see what happens after. It's a very specific question about Boxing Day, Chad.
Well, that's because that's the first game I think I'm going to get to potentially.
Yeah,
So,
when you hold, yeah.
so yeah.
But we said from day one, okay, St. Helens, if you look at it with a real cynical point of view, it's a dead end, okay? But okay, in terms of transport links, so we've got to make it work. We've got to have we've got to have shuttle buses. We've got to do what we can to make sure it works. We Ospreys need to make sure it works properly.
If you can get into town, it is walkable with a few cans, like a few road cans, and then walk down. It's not. Yeah,
It's 25 minutes from the station. Last
yeah.
time I did it,
Problem is,
isn't it?
Oysmouth Road is an interesting place.
Like it's not pleasant.
It's an interesting place, let's put it that way. But yeah,
Yeah.
you can see the sights, see the prison on the way down to
Yep. Yeah.
St. Helens.
I can cycle there from Brincourt again about 45 minutes now.
Go straight into.
Which is not a lot of use when it's dark. I don't really want to be cycling on 10 o'clock in the dark.
No.
Yes.
Either way, though, it is exciting. It's nice to be back
yeah.
in. Well, I know you're saying it's like a 20-minute walk from the station, but like it's not that far into town, and like it's exciting to be kind of like go in to a stadium that is relatively. I know we just said like the transport links and stuff, but it's still closer to the action, so to speak, than
It's a lot closer than like the Liberty.
Yeah, the Swansea.com or the Liberty or whatever it's called now.
It's in the heartlands of Australia.
Yeah, and also like the Brewery Field as well. As much like that walk, I like it'll be fun. It'll be nice. I think it'll be a laugh, to be honest.
I think you'll find a crowd of people walking back and forth as well, even if
Yeah, they will be.
I think it'll be quite good on match day in terms of people going in and out of town.
Yeah.
Roll on first game in the new ground.
Oh yeah.
Dragons at home. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, they were trying to swap that first game around and swapping the home and away fixtures to give us that extra bit of time if we need it to get in there. We shall see. We
I
shall see.
mean, how many games did they play at St Helens before they relocated to the Swansea.com?
Oh, it's a few years. We had a good few years there.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just nice to also have this sense of like after the year that like has been had to return to a stadium that was originally set out for regional rugby, you know. It's almost like a kind of like a full circle kind of thing, you know, which is kind of cool. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you look at it. Okay, we'll have big people talk about crowds going backwards. We probably have bigger crowds there now than we did first time round in St Helens.
I would say so, yeah.
Ospreys has grown as a brand massively, isn't it, in the last 23 years?
Yeah, well, yeah, that was the whole thing, isn't it? But yeah. It's exciting. Proper rugby ground, proper clubhouse.
Great,
In a
great.
city. It,
Chip shop open directly across the road now in the secret
Dip shop
cafe.
across the road. To be fair, thinking about it, with my thinking cap on, you could walk along the seafront. You don't have to walk along the side of the jail.
You got a choice of routes. Oh, sorry, you've got two roads, three. If you want to push it.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Single depart just next door as well if you need to walk after the game because it's that infuriating. Get on the pedalos. Sounds good.
A day out for all the family.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got the family stand. Might as well make use of it.
Yeah.
Students as well, isn't it? Students right on a doorstep there.
I was going to say, if you're not putting on deals for student tickets,
Yeah, £5 tickets. Get 'em,
five for a ticket, get them in the bars,
yeah.
get them the fans and get them
Yeah.
loud. Put something on for Pink Out for just any event you can think of at this point.
Yeah.
I do want a second Elvis festival when the Stormers come. On
But
principle.
move it from Porthcawl to Swansea.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Porthcawl's not good. Like, you can't take that from Porthcawl. It's my favorite Porthcawl fact.
I don't know. I'm just obsessed with. I think it was the South Africa, the head coach of the Stormers in 24 when we just beat them at the Brewery Field, and he made a massive complaint or mentioned it in the media that like, yeah, the atmosphere was really hostile. I really didn't like it. There were a load of Elvises in the crowd,
Uh-huh.
just as one does.
John Dobson. Just Google it. John Dobson was manager, I believe. But yeah, that's brilliant. Of all the things you could blame a loss on, it's just loads of Elvis lookalikes.
It's. I just want more bullshit like that. It's great.
But yeah, if anyone's on the fence about getting a ticket, okay, look at the deals at the moment. When they go on general release, because at the moment they've gone through existing season ticket holders. Now it's people who put the deposit down, £50 deposits. They've got a window, and it's a really good schedule. And I think there might be some scarcity in terms of the main stand. So if you want a seat, okay, buy a season ticket if you want a good seat.
I was going to say it's looking like it's going to be about a 6,000, 7,000 capacity next season.
Yeah,
which
Yeah.
isn't huge, but we should be able to fill that every week.
Yeah.
There's no excuse really. Time to move on. Shall we make a? Do we have? Shall we talk about some rugby? Unfortunately,
Do we have to?
Talk about the European Cup final. I went to that. I'd rather talk about that.
Well,
About
one of the
Look, if anything, we should be getting a cut of that from Bordeaux because, you know, lulled them into a false sense of security.
we softened them up.
It was all part of the plan.
Yeah. They showed all the best moves off, didn't they? Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's,
Fight, wasn't it?
yeah, we did look like a team that couldn't be asked.
it
looks
was
like
bad, wasn't it? Genuinely, it looked like a team whose season finished the weekend before. And
yeah.
effectively, it finished on the back of the Cardiff game, didn't it? Let alone the next two.
Yeah. I just
Looked
yeah.
like-
Yeah. Team thinking about getting on the Guinness or potentially being on the Guinness already. Who knows?
It wasn't ideal. It was not a fun day. I don't remember. I don't think I actually watched most of the game on principle. Just after a certain point,
I couldn't avoid it. It wasn't a good sign, mind. As we walked into the ground, we were in the the low stand across the back end, the one you see on the right hand side on TV. Okay. As we walked in there, walked up the steps into it. I was the last of the three of us to wander up the steps, and as I wandered out, okay, I just heard a big shout from Greg, who was standing in front of me. As he walked up the steps, okay, rugby ball into the post, okay, landed on him, and smashed his pint all over him. It was a sign, wasn't it? So they get fair play. He walked to the bar, said, "One of your players just kicked the ball and knocked my pint." Or they give him another pint, but at that point we should have walked out. But we
This,
still,
this is a sign.
it was a sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been a difficult season, hasn't it? And I think that game kind of typified it to an extent. Like in terms of like, there's been some really good performances, and there's been some really, really shit performances. Like in terms of, that Cardiff game as well wasn't great. Um, and yeah, it was a disappointing way to end the season. Um, from a fan perspective. Like you'd want to see a bit more, wouldn't you? Really, from them,
Especially when
particularly
you driven to Manchester to fly out there. Yeah, I did.
particularly like if you consider like it's Jack Morgan's last game, a few of the players, the last games, you'd expect something more, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
What
mean,
was it?
no, it was like write it off, you know,
But
like
Leinster, to be fair, okay, they really stuttered most of the season, and but they just put us to the sword. They worked hard as well. You know, you make your own luck sometimes. When you're chasing high balls, and they chased a lot of high balls, they made sure that they had people all around the ball, and we'd have one or two people trying to compete for the ball. We'd have four or five around it.
yeah.
It felt like a game too far.
Yeah. I mean, there
No,
were some there
yeah,
were some good performances, like Reece Davis had a good performance, I thought that Ethan Daniel was quite good as well.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, the truth is, when you're talking, you look at, it's been quite interesting in terms of there's been a lot of talk from, the Leinster camp, or some talk anyway, around funding and how do we compete with France because they've got so much money in X, Y, and Z. But like, I think that this performance, you look at the team they put out, like it typifies like just like the gulf between the budgets and the two teams in general. And you don't want to turn around and say, oh yeah, like it's all about money and X, Y, and Z. But the truth is that like most sporting events now, if you look at it statistically, football is a really good example of this. The teams that spend the most money are the teams that win most often. If you look at players' wages, for instance, teams that pay the most in wages tend to be the teams that do the best. And
But you
so,
develop from within, don't you? In terms of Welsh players, you want to develop from within and get the pathways right. But then that sprinkling of non-Welsh qualified, you put over the top of it. The day we played Leinster, me and Nick were having a pint with Ricky Ioane in the pub before the game. It's not even
yeah,
a match day squad.
yeah, exactly.
There's
And
so
they
much
still,
talent there. You know?
yeah, and they've still got players like Jack Honan on there, Van der
Yeah,
Fleer on there, Gibson Park,
yeah,
Harry Byrne, who was. It's hard to look at this game now without looking at the European Cup final because he did not have a good European Cup final, but he did have a good game against the Ospreys.
yeah.
Yeah, so you look at that team and you factor in as well last game of the season, nothing to play for the Ospreys. A lot of these players are trying to get a run out, trying to prove that they should be starting, for instance. It's not really that surprising that in the end they came out and put like a fairly sizable score on us. Yeah, I don't think it tells us much about next season or the group of players we've got or anything. It's just one of those results, one team with something to play for and a point to make, and probably wanting to go in to the European Cup final, kind of firing on all cylinders because they've had problems with that in recent years. And the other team, yeah, wanted to give a legend player a send off, but in general, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Leinster also needed to confirm top four spot, didn't they, for home qualification for the
yeah,
playoffs.
I
So
was slightly disappointed that we didn't play more like youth players. I remember in the pod before that we talked about maybe like putting in a few more, like a few younger players and so on, giving them a run out, giving them a chance to show what they can do because, it's a nothing game. When do you do that? But yeah, who knows? I guess the score could have been even worse if you'd done that, right? Maybe
Yeah.
it's not a really good exercise for people who are, but yeah.
Just felt pointless
Yeah.
for almost both teams. Like it was a training game for Leinster, which didn't help them at all, and it was just like a one last run out where thankfully no one got injured for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
I think there's not much more to go through that game. Hugh Sutton try was nice. That's about it.
Dan Edwards try was nice at the end. You got to remember, okay, we did win the last 15 minutes of that game.
So silver linings.
We just lost the first 65.
Silver linings.
They didn't get a point a minute.
They were for a while.
Uh,
moving on.
Moving on. A few weeks ago, the Ospreys had the end of season awards. We've discussed who won them off air, but to sum up, James Ratty won 4, which felt quite greedy of him. Like he won Man of Steel, Man of the Year, Coaches Player of the Season, and Players Player of the Season, which is some shift.
I'm surprised Justin Tipperick didn't win them all again.
I've been to an award ceremony where he would have been best off buying a wheelbarrow from B&Q's next door to the Swansea.com to take all the stuff out the yard. And it's the first time I've seen anything like that since. I think we keep on talking about the Ospreys back row being massively competitive, and we keep on dreaming up all these fantastic combinations. In the middle of that, James Ratty's been the solid 6 and has nearly played every game, hasn't he? We got all the spectacular, all the big tacklers, all the big ball carriers, and you got Mr. Dependable, Mr. Solid, Mr. Man of Steel in the middle of it. Yeah,
he's got like a very Steve Tandy essence to him as a player. More like very won't like light up in the international sphere, but will be very good club player for the next 5 years comfortably.
Do you not think he could get a call up just because of his size and his work rate?
As a second row /6.
Yeah. I don't know, like
he's definitely like good enough for it, but it's just like
the
Wales back row is naturally stacked.
Yeah, it is absolutely stacked, isn't it? And trying to get Alex Mann out of that 6 spot difficult. Jack, obviously, well, I don't want to go into it too much, but that return of Jack Morgan to that back row, it does make it slightly more complicated in terms of like who you're picking and what you're doing because like he's not the tallest, so then you start and he's very very physical, but he's not like massive. He's not like a massive 7, is he? He's And so then you look at it and say, like, do you want like more of like a Dan Lydia at Wolverton kind of access where you have one guy who's just an absolute lump who's going to just hit people, and then one guy who's a fetcher, slows the ball down, slows the rucks down.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I think that Jack Morgan, when you throw him into a back row, like it changes the makeup of the 6, obviously, and I think in Wales's case, that the back row that they had throughout the Six Nations, if you throw Jack back into that, which you will, because then there's a chance that you need to change it up slightly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But
Who knows?
Well,
Who knows? Ratty for Wales to sum up.
Yeah. Like,
I'm interested to see how many minutes he's actually played for us this year.
I don't think he's not been injured at all.
No.
At all. He's always been in or around for 23.
James Ratty, 17 starts, 1,301 minutes. 17 starts. But again, he's been a regular for a while, hasn't he? He just keeps on holding that spot somewhere.
He's started at 6 pretty much every time for a lot of the season, basically since sort of like week 5. And he just hasn't given the jersey up. Fair play.
So who else was in the awards pot?
Danny Eds won Supporters Player of the Season, and yeah, fairs. Wouldn't have been my choice. Keelan Giles won Try of the Season for his sidestepping antics against the Blues.
That was I love that. There were some other fantastic team tries and a few tries against the Scarlets up for the award, but just thought you can't ignore someone who can just do a Ian Evans and step off a team and catch a wonder.
I really loved who is it? Reece Davis's hands in the lead up to it.
Yeah.
It's just like superb to catch. I think
Nothing better than watching a second row with some good, soft hands, is there?
Yeah,
it's like whenever you see Alan Wynne Jones like dump it off with one hand, if you remember, or like you're like, oh, didn't realize he had that in his locker.
And Beard throwing missed passes.
Yeah.
Some of them did bounce before they arrived with someone, though, didn't they, from Mr. Beard?
Yeah, but one of them went straight to Morgan Morris's hands as he ran over a Montpellier player and scored in the corner. So,
yeah. Oh yeah,
that's all I care about.
Yeah.
And then the Osprey of the year was Chris Towers, who's medical performance manager, well deserved, and Mark Stobbs, who I've got on good authority as a Turk, but
Stobbsy is a Turk, but he's one of us now. He's all right. Mark's all right. So I think the only person who calls him Mark is his mum, Stobbsy. Well done.
Fair play, Stobbsy. It's not a huge amount of awards going away. Big night to celebrate. It's good night out, I'm assuming.
A few years ago, they did it as part of the end of season dinner. And that was a big night out. Like players would be spread. So the main players would be spread across, the tables of the sponsors and the people who paid to go on, and like the lesser players would fill up a few tables at the back and crash through a few beers. But the last couple of years, I think Toby Booth did it. They said, no, it's about the players, it's about the squad, it's about the coaches. We all get together and we do it as a group. So yeah, I'd like to think that they should have some sort of a good, reasonably good time amongst themselves without worrying about people taking photos or saying anything.
Yeah, let's hope so. A way to end the season that they deserve and some time off. Yeah. Hopefully from all the bollocks in Welsh rugby. The season as a whole has been a bit strange. Possibly the most turbulent season in Ospreys memory since 2019-20? 2018-19? Which is maybe even further back before then. To say we've come out the other side of it only slightly worse than last season in terms of at least points and position on the table.
Yeah.
Didn't have the same cup run, but we did get robbed.
I think for me, like, was our expectation too high at the start of the season in terms of because the rugby that was being played towards the back end of the middle part of last season, Mark Jones's first full season in charge, got excited about the attacking rugby and the ability that you were seeing, and then given, I think was it Josh put that thing in lost 900 odd caps, something like that. It's in the WhatsApp group. It's not really been replaced. I think that maybe the expectations were really high going into the season, and then reality kind of hit, which is that this is a team that has a lot of good players and a really good coaching team, but a lot of inexperience, a lot of young players.
You're right. We've been losing players. When you look at the budget that's been spent on the match day squad, okay, was it well over £1 million less than the year before? We're not backfilling with the quality that we're losing. Like I said, we've lost hundreds and hundreds of caps from that setup. But there's always an expectation when you see us play really well, and you look at our home performances. Okay, we played some great rugby. We played some good rugby. I won't say great rugby because we've only scored 4 tries this season, a handful of times to pick up bonus points. Whether that's home or away, how many games we've ended up with 3 tries, I don't know, and that's when we're playing well. So we not quite clicking, like you said, Jack. Middle of the season before, we were playing some spectacular stuff fairly regularly. We did it every now and again. There were glimpses of it, but was it 80% sort of success rate at home and 20% success rate away?
So in total, so I was just looking at it here. In total, they've lost 916 caps since 2022. So that's like if you add all the players out and all the players in, the total of lost is 916 caps. So that's almost 1,000 caps of experience, you know? And you got to look at it and go like, that's to do with like the finances in the game and so on, and players moving on, but like you're not replacing those caps either with people. And so yeah, like it's not surprising then if you think about that one of the big things of this season, I think, has been like, and I've talked about it a few times, is that there has often been in a lot of games, the Connaught game comes to mind, where even in the Scarlets game that they won, but though we won, that control initially in control, lose control, never win control back. Like everything seems great, everyone's playing well, everything's you see in that lovely attacking play, tries to being scored, and then all of a sudden teams come back in a little bit, and I think that the team finds it hard then to kind of wrestle that like momentum back from the other team. And I can't help but think that the more experienced players that you have, the more kind of like, okay, we've been here before, we've done this before, everyone just calm down. When you're putting that on the shoulders of, a 22-year-old fly half, and so on. It becomes like really, really hard to do that. And I think that just like the season has represented that as a whole, in terms of just like lack of experience in key moments to allow you to score those bonus points or to allow you to maintain those leads, and just kind of like I firmly believe it'll come. But yeah, and obviously you've got the backdrop of the fact that, we spent a significant proportion of the season not talking about rugby. And I'm sure the players did as well.
Very good point. But you're right. And when you're young, you learn how to think clearly under pressure. That doesn't just happen, does it?
No.
You need that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they will be better for it. You got to hang on to that group of players now and bring them on and hang on to them and develop them and yeah, they'll be the next solid generation that should be holding their own for a while. Because you look at some of the fundamentals of Scrum this year. Except we talked earlier to me about Steph Thomas coming on leaps and bounds, and Gareth Thomas, when he has played, has looked unbeatable at Scrum time. The amount of Scrum penalties we've won this season, okay, I think it's on Leinster, apart from Leinster, okay, only a couple of South African teams have won more Scrum penalties than us. It's a massive strength of our game. Thinking, right, got that bit right. Right, so scrums you don't have to worry about. In terms of pressure, our lineup looks like it's feeling the pressure all the time. And surely we must be near the bottom of the stats for the lineup this year. So, and again, it's pressure, and it's not always defensive pressure. Sometimes we have those fleeting moments of attack, and we butcher a lineup. So you'd like to think that some time off, a bit of reflection on how we do things and how other people are competing against us, because we don't steal lineups, but people steal our lineups, don't they?
Yeah, that's the truth of where the team is, isn't it? And where Welsh, in a wider context, where Welsh rugby is, which is what's most important now is having a good coaching team, because you're not going to be buying players in that are ready made. It's about bringing these players on, isn't it? And hoping they improve season on season, because yeah, that's simply where the finances are currently. And I think the Ospreys have clearly got that. I think they clearly got a really good management team, a really good coaching setup. You look at the players in there, the coaches in there, the ex-players in there, I should say, sorry, and they have that. It's just a shame that I do feel like in some positions, not so much, but I do feel like in certain positions, there is a lack of kind of old heads, so to speak. I mean, fly off's one of them, right? Fly off next season is Dan Ed. That's it. Currently.
Yeah,
So
Jack
being
Gully gone, isn't it? Yeah.
I was going to say we're being linked with a mystery 10 in France, but
that Bota Chamberlain we spoke about a few pods ago, he has been released.
Yeah,
by
he's out
Newcastle.
of contract. Jared Evans is noted to be out of contract, and I doubt he'll come to us. Being linked somewhere. Gareth Anscombe is out of contract, but I don't know if we want to revisit
You know
Chicken.
what? It'd be worse. It's a worse option, depending on what his wages are, obviously. But there's worse options than Gareth Anscombe coming
I,
back.
I think we need an old head, and we need a young understudy underneath Dan. Effectively, he comes back like we talked about before, the Stephen Myler type figure. So when we are under a bit of pressure, and when Dan Edwards is away with Wales, as he's going to be regularly, you need some old head there and someone to learn off him.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, let's sign it. Hopefully, we can sign a good 10 and have some youth there falling through. Because you said, we haven't got the squad we've had, but with us losing Jack and losing Derry and a selection of other people, we're creating some gaps in terms of like our budget to go and spend elsewhere. And if we sign PRA 25 version 2, whatever it might be by the time we sign it, then our budget is going up, and we should be in a position where we should be able to get some quality from elsewhere.
The budget should be going up. We don't know what they're.
Yeah.
I mean, have they given any guarantees on the reworking that they're doing that the budget will go up? I don't.
Well, if you sign up to PRA 25, okay, it should be £6.5 million a team, and it's as straightforward as
Yeah,
that.
okay.
1 year and then going up the year after.
So what we're saying is Gareth Anscombe back to the Ospreys,
You heard it here first.
and then or potentially a one Josh Lawrence after his outing at Twickenham.
Yeah. Great distributor of the ball, Josh.
Very good distributor of ball. Had a good game. Could take a late tackle well as well.
Yeah.
Lovely assist, triple pump.
Oh yeah.
Went for a hole.
At some point, okay, he's going to do this for a couple of years the way he's playing, and at some point when nobody's expecting, he's going to make a break.
Yeah, yeah,
One day.
yeah.
Not here to defend himself, poor boy.
What to defend himself from? It's not like we're slandering him. Yes.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
There was that drop ball at the line out. Hamza was all.
Happens.
Well, it doesn't happen to many of us in Twickenham, though.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
so
true. That's true.
doing it on the stage, well done.
Sometimes the occasion gets you just a little bit,
Yeah.
Bless him. He'd really enjoy it. There's one more piece of news, which, while we're talking about Josh, is when we have him back, we will talk about it. But the Ospreys released their accounts for 24-25 and announced losses of 1.9 million quid, I think, off the top of my head, which obviously isn't great. I have no idea how to read them. Brian, I don't think you have much of an idea how to read them. Jack, I don't think you have much of an idea how to read them.
No, but the Ospreys have said, okay, they want to get the St. Helens in order to turn the result around, don't they? Because we were losing a bit more money when we were in Swansea.com. We haven't been able to close the gap in Bridgend because it's not our ground. The crowd's not what it should be. It's better, but it's not what it should be. So the challenge is, closing the funding gap and actually bringing in more revenue on top of that outside of, on match day and outside of match day once we get the stadium finished.
So, the one thing I did take from it, and he put a really good summary in there, which we'll go through again, is that the bank overdraft facility has been removed for all the regions. So they need to make sure they have like a good cash flow throughout the year to pay people because they can't go into an overdraft. Y11 covered the losses of 1.8 million, which we kind of, same as last year. But yeah, it's been one of those years. It's not surprising that reading them and reading like there was like a whole going concerns point that a lot of it's focusing on like, the WRU issuing a termination notice and so on. So, you're not gonna let teams, if you don't know they're gonna exist, run up an overdraft, are you? So
the WRU though have in the past, okay, of course, some real problems in terms of letting cash flow as well. So in terms of money that's coming in from competitions, whether it's
Yeah.
Europe or URC or Six Nations, that cash hasn't necessarily, or TV deals, the money hasn't necessarily flowed directly from the WRU and gone out to the professional clubs where it should go. And in the past, the WRU put unnecessary pressure on all four clubs. If they do it now and there isn't any sort of overdraft facility, we're entirely reliant on benefactors dipping their hands in their pockets more regularly. So the WRU can make sure that doesn't happen again.
It's just no trust, is there? That's a problem. Right now, you read these things, you read them, you just go like, how much of this is just like being stitched up? Companies being stitched up to achieve an overall goal, and how much of it is genuine. So I think it's best to leave Josh explain the ins and outs of
Yeah.
it on a financial rugby. What is it? What is it? What is that podcast? Oh, the football one, football finance. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember now. There's one that's
We
I'm
should just,
rambling.
yeah. Josh, please will you do a 1 minute short, YouTube short, okay, like Martin Lewis style?
That'd be ideal. 'Cause I'm not going to pretend to understand it.
No, not me.
Shall we look ahead to next season then? Because I'm hesitant.
I'm always optimistic. Always.
I don't know. I don't
I,
know. Like honestly,
I think we're going to be going for a pretty big rebuild.
yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. There's so many like missing faces in the squad, missing gaps in the squad as we talked about. Bringing them in. There doesn't seem to be any like news on filling them in either, which isn't is fairly common for us in terms of like not talking about rumors and stuff until like all of a sudden something is done. But yeah, like
Until PRA 25 is signed, then we're not going to be signing anyone big away because you can't offer anyone more than a season's contract.
the players are going to be gone.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like everyone's going to be, you know, gone. So it's if you stand still, you go backwards, don't you? That's what you're saying eventually. And I do feel like it's been like a couple of seasons now of standing still.
In terms of signings.
Sign-ins, players coming in,
Yeah.
like it's been like consolidation with the group of players we've got, bringing them on, trying to see improvements. But like, yeah, you got to ask yourself at what point does that result in like a backwards movement as other teams around you improve?
Yeah, you can't just rely on a home crowd, on the terrace making a bit of noise and getting you over the line.
No, no.
It
I
is
think,
done the job this season, but you can't just rely on that.
and it's not
Can't underestimate it, but yeah, we,
no.
we need some players coming in.
And it's not the club's fault, obviously. Like I'm not pointing fingers at the club, but like due to all the things that are going on around Welsh rugby, it's really hard to make like meaningful additions to squads. You know, and yeah, the Ospreys have lost Dowie and Jack Morgan, and those are two players that like you're not going to be able to replace. But what you tend to do is if you can't like replace them with a like for like world class player, maybe sign two players who could do the job. Just do you see what I mean? Like instead of signing the one player, you try and get like maybe two players in that can like share that load. Um, but there doesn't seem to be anybody.
I think we're linked to BX Aussie backer Luke Wright, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's might be more of a blind side, but
Okay. So
a way to start, but it's not.
we got Tom Rogers coming in,
Yeah,
which is a decent signing to be fair.
he's international quality with a fullback, and it's
Yeah.
horrible.
So it's not all doom and gloom, but I just is when you start talking about fly halves and you start talking about, you know, centers, for instance,
But yeah,
it gets
yeah,
a bit
fire
worrying.
we've got one. Centres, Phil Cock and a Singer going. It's probably been our most attacking threat.
Yeah.
Most looks the most skillful with ball in hand.
And you have to assume that Watkin will go away with Wales.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
You don't think so? You don't reckon?
He's not in the summer tour, is he? And they've picked literally 8 centres for that summer tour squad.
Okay, so maybe not then. Maybe his time's done.
Hmm.
Still need to sign one centre, I
But
would
yeah,
say.
we've lost Florence and Copenhagen, haven't we?
Yeah.
So who's the fourth centre?
We need someone, just probably a 13.
Yeah.
Or hopefully someone who can play both. I'm unsure. We're in the market for one. Whoever we get, though, I'm not.
You've got to look at it saying, front row, we seem fairly robust and we develop in from within with Tommy both hanging on for an extra season. Second row, we're losing James Fender, who's a big player physically and in some games, okay? And have we got enough cover there? Maybe. I think
We use one more.
if we have any injuries, my God, yeah.
We've lost Will Greatbank as well.
Yeah.
Although he didn't play much part of the season, was definitely a squad player.
Need one away, one or two.
Well, we need
Because,
two.
as you said, like Ratty can double up.
Yeah.
But if we've got, our depth in terms of in the back row, we've got Deavesy, Moriarty,
Morris.
Exactly. Back row, we had too many back rowers, so we lost Jack. We lost the best of the bunch, but we had too many back rowers effectively, didn't we? And
Yeah.
maybe
I'm not too concerned with back row. I do think a second row wouldn't go a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly fly halves. Fly half, probably a fullback.
Well, full back and wing again because
Yeah.
it's that balance, isn't it? Because you got Tom Rogers. Does he want to play full back? Does he want to play wing? Yes,
Anyway,
Hopkins, is he a winger or is he a full back?
yeah, I think we're just getting to that point where it's what you're saying, which is there are holes in this squad. It doesn't feel like a complete squad. And there doesn't really seem to be much talk of who's coming in, who's going out. A lot of those players are going to be gone throughout the summer. Oh, they're going to come back and get a couple of weeks together and then back straight into a game, a Rodney Parade where we always lose, and then into a South Africa tour. Like,
Didn't lose last year. Drew.
it's true. That is true.
Wow.
It's yeah, it's a little bit worrying.
You'd like to think that ideally, I'm sure the Ospreys would have, like PRA signed, announced the signings of the players they were nailing down, then put the season tickets on sale with the St. Helens News, lined up with it. It hasn't worked out that way, but you got all those player signings are still there to announce when PRA gets over the line.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they've got things lined up, yeah, maybe they've got players lined up or signed the pre's, and we're just waiting.
Yeah, maybe if we miss out on them because PRA isn't signed because of delays with the WRUs and blah.
Yeah. Do you know what's annoying about that? Then next season will be again like, see, like this is what happens. This is why I got 4 teams.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, without any understanding.
without any context given,
Yeah.
So yeah, am I optimistic for the season ahead? I think there's going to be a lot of positives. I think there will be a lot of positives, but I also am concerned about the lack of movement in like filling the holes in the squad currently.
I think we're on for the Shield again next year, just because we've got a pack and other teams haven't.
I don't know. Cardiff signed a few more washed up Australians. Sorry, that was so mean. He's not washed up. He's actually a decent player.
He's still going to go backwards in the scrum. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That was harsh. No, he's a good player. Like, I'm just jealous. They've made some signings.
Yeah. It's strange listening to commentaries on Cardiff games saying, Cardiff done really well considering the pressure they've been under this season. What the one team that guaranteed a spot forevermore by the WRU.
Yeah. Only team I've ever seen that go bankrupt and still be announcing signings afterwards.
It's not Cardiff's fault, is it? That's all.
No, it's not Cardiff's fault.
WRU's fault again.
It is WRU's fault, and yeah, it's not Cardiff's fault at all. Again, it's sour grapes on my part.
Ospreys podcast, this is.
Yeah.
We're not jealous.
I think it's best we leave it there this week.
Maybe leave it on a positive. Can we leave it on a positive?
That
was all quite negative, that wasn't it?
Danny Eds is pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Dan Eddy's good. Yeah.
There's some great scrum halves. Got some fantastic scrum
Some
halves.
really got some really good scrum halves, got some X factor players, so we will win some games. There you go.
Yeah. Come down and join us in St. Helens and feel the roar off the terrace.
Yeah. The match will come, the match will go. There'll be a result, but a good time will be had by all.
I'm looking forward to going to St Helens again.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
me
takeaway for
too.
next season. I want, and just to have the vibe around the club to be more positive in general.
Yeah.
I think that should be the aim for next season.
Yeah. Yeah. More talking about rugby and less talking about protests. Yay.
Let's hope.
Roll on next season.
I'm looking forward to more reports on Grant's knees.
Been cautious with them now in my old age.
I want more reports on topless in golf.
Yeah.
That was proved to be semi-true.
Yeah,
Semi-true.
I just want one day. I think with that, we'll call it there for tonight. Cheers, gents, for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you did enjoy, feel free to like and subscribe on your podcasting platform of choice. I don't know what our plan is for over summer. We'll hopefully do some bits and bobs if and when. But until then, we will definitely be back for the new season. Enjoy your time, gentlemen, and good night.